Welcome to episode 4 of Landon's Guide to High School Math. I'm Landon, I am your host, and we are learning pre-algebra. And this is part 2 of our unit on ratios and rates. So last time we did the first part, which is quiz 1. This episode we'll be going over quiz 2, and then episode 3 we'll be going over quizzes 3 and 4 since they are so short. So let's get into it. First off, I forgot to give the quiz. I'm so sorry. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take the quiz for Unit 1. So if you didn't watch episode 3, you might want to go watch that right now. But otherwise, let's do this quiz. So quiz 1. So let's do this. The quiz starts now. The answer is A. If you got that, good job. The answer is 2 and 3. If you got that, good job. Give you guys a little bit of time, because I am actually doing this live with you guys, so... Answer... Give you guys a little more time on this. Yikes, hang on guys, this is actually a little hard. The answer should be equivalent to, Okay, hang on a minute, hang on a second. Yeah, 0.75, I didn't have a calculator. Okay, yes, but anyway, if you got that, good job. I just don't have a calculator with me, so... So it should be this. For goodness sake. Okay. Yeah, it should be this. So if you got that, good job. The answer is this. If you got that, good job. And the answer is this. If you got that, good job. Okay, so aside from the one that I missed, you guys are good. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, and that's what we're going to be learning today. Let's start off with ratio tables. So, here's the information. So, a ratio table gives a bunch of equivalent ratios. Let's look at an example where we'll build a ratio table. Ben drinks 1 glass of milk for every 2 cookies that he eats. We'll use this ratio to begin a ratio table. If Ben drinks 2 glasses of milk and he eats 4 cookies, let's use this to continue the ratio table. We have 1 glass of milk and 2 glasses of cookies. Now notice how both of the ratios in the ratio table are equivalent. If Ben drinks 4 glasses of milk, he eats 8 cookies. So it's 2 cookies per glass of milk. Notice how all the ratios in the ratio table are equivalent. Now I know I can't draw, but what would happen if it was like 8 glasses of milk? How many cookies would it be then? 16. Good. So if we have 16 of those cookies, then what we do here, let's take a practice problem. So we use what's given here. We have 28 strawberries and 4 smoothies. So let's look at the smaller number. So how many strawberries does it take to get one smoothie? So remember, we're taking 28 and 4. It would be 7 per smoothie. So we would do that number and multiply it by the smoothie. So what's 7 times 3? 21. And now we do the opposite. So we're dividing, because you remember, 28 divided by 7 is 4, and 21 divided by 7 is 3. So what's 70 divided by 7? 10. Good job. No, go back.
We're
go
told
back.
this.
No. Okay, that's embarrassing. Okay, let's try that again. So we had 21. It's because we're in practice, so if I click next, then... So yeah, 21 and 10. So if we check it, and yeah, so if we explain it, yeah, so we get 7 here, and then we divide. Or we can multiply. Sure. But you can also divide. But if you're better at multiplying, then do what they say. Okay, next problem. So Luigi uses 39 cups of flour for every 6 pizzas he makes. So we use what's given, 39 and 6. We do 39 divided by 6. So, oops, that won't give us a full number. So, let's see here. I think if we divide, I think I see a common factor in this in 39 and 6. What is that common factor? 3. Because 39 divided by 3 is 13, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Since we have 13 on the bottom, we know that this is going to be 2. So, 2 is that, there. And now to get 4, we need 2 more pizzas. And since we already know that 2 pizzas means 13 flour cups, how many flour cups are we going to have right here? 26. Do you see the pattern? Although it might not be whole numbers, 13 over 2 is equivalent to 26 over 4 and 39 over 6. And hey, notice how we add 2 pizzas for every single time we go up, and we add 13 flour cups for every single time we go up. So if we check that and explain, so here's the explanation here, and yeah, we use our tricks. We use divided by 6. Now they got decimals, which is the expected way, but I don't really like decimals when it comes to finding out whole numbers. So let's do the next problem. You need 3 sticks of butter for every 24 cookies you bake. Complete the table using equivalent ratios. So let's use what's given, 3 and 24. Can we get anything? It looks like 3 times 8 is equal to 24. Yeah, it looks like 3 times 8. So that means 24 divided by 8 is equal to 3. So let's apply that. We have 16 here. If we divide that by 8, since here we have cookies, we're trying to get butter. What's 16 divided by 8? 2. Now we have 5. Now given that it's sticks of butter, so now we're going to multiply by 8. So what's 5 times 8? 40. So this should be our pattern. And notice how they all have a factor of 8. Here is the explanation here. And yeah, no decimals this time. Last problem. Olivia needs 32 and 1/2 licks for every 3 lollipops she eats. Complete the table to see how many licks it would take Olivia to eat 6 lollipops and 12 lollipops. So let's see here. I think I'm seeing something. 3 and 6 have a factor of 2. So we need to do 32 1/2 times 2. So what would that be? I know it's a little hard, so I'll give you guys a little more time, unless you want to pause it. $65. And now we have to multiply that again, because look, we have 6 and 12 divided by 2 is 6. So a number divided by 2 is 65, or in other words, 65 times 2 is, again, I'll give you guys some time. $130. If we check that and we get it right again, because see, we have our times 2 method. So now let's go ahead and move on to our next one, ratio tables. You need 3 sticks of butter for every 24. Hey, how about that? That looks similar to something we already did back in the previous lesson. So let's apply it again. So remember, 3 times blank is equal to 24. 3 times 8. So something times 8 is equal to 16. In other words, what's 16 divided by 8? Well, we can draw now, so that's good. So what is 16 divided by 8? 2. So that means that we're going to have 2 here. And then we need 5 times what to give us... No, not what. We know that's 8. It's equal to... what? I kind of gave it, but it's 40. So that was a previous problem we answered, so I guess it's okay. So, oh, I forgot to run my videos. Well, anyways, videos have a saying, but now we're doing this one. Okay, Jack needs 22 crew members for every 2 ships he manages. So, we use what's given. We have 22 per 2. We want to use the smaller numbers. So, how many crew members will we have per ship? So, in other words, what is this? What is this? It's 11. So, it's 11 per ship. So, we need to do 11 times 5. See, like we have this. We're going to multiply this by 11. 11. So, it's either divide or multiply depending on where it is. And since we have the rest of our given values over here, we know we're going to multiply it by 11. So, what's 11 times 5? 55, good. And what's 11 times 11? 121. So it's 55 and 121. So let's put that in. Perfect. Here is the explanation. Take a look at our numbers. And then we circle this. And happy study. Okay, moving on. Luigi uses 39 mozzarella pearls, small cheese balls, for every 6 pizzas they make. Complete the table using equivalent ratios. So let's use what we get. Let's use what we have. We have 39 and 6, so 39 over 6. And hey, it's another one of those problems that we already got. So let's try ahead and see if we can get a good factor. 39 and 6, those are both divisible by 3. So if we divide each by 3, we get 13 over 2. So we have how many pearls? These are pearls, and these are pizzas. So we have 13 pearls, and hey, that's right here. And then we have 2, so that means 2 pizzas. And now we have 4, so what we can do now is we already know that there's 2 pizzas, and we just need 2 more for 4 pizzas. So we do 13 times 2, and that's going to give us 26. That's right, you nailed it. Like a champion. You're going to conquer pre-algebra pretty soon. So, here's the step-by-step solution. And then you divide by 3, and then you multiply by 2, just as we did. Here's another way, but I don't think it's necessary because we already did this way, which is a lot easier. But if you really want to see it, then here it is. If you got that, good job. If you didn't, here's the video. You can always ask me for help. And happy studying. Okay, next problem. Mercerel uses 10.5 hectares. It's equal to an area of square of a sine length of 100 meters. Complete the table using equivalent ratios. So let's use what's given. So we have hectares of land and number of cabins. So let's see if we can find adjacent ratio. So what I like to do when it comes to by 5, I like to multiply this by 2. Because check this out. When we have 21 and 10, all we have to do is take 21. We have an imaginary point 0 here, correct? All we can do is just move the decimal back. That's divided by 10. We just move the decimal back 1 place. So it's 2.1. That's going to be 10.5 over 5 as well. So that means we have 2.1 per cabin. So 2.1 per cabin. So that means now we know that 2.1 per cabin, 1. So that means that this is here. And then we have 7 cabins, so we do 2.1 times 7. what will this be equal to? 14.7. We multiply 2 by 7, which is 14, and then 1 times 7 is 7. So it's 14.7, which means that, now if we wanted to, we know that a hectare is equal to the area of a square with a side length of 100 meters. If we absolutely wanted to, we can actually solve for the meters that we have. So basically, if the side length of a square is 100 meters, that's the case for everything. So 100, 100, 100, 100, or in other words, 100 squared. Now, what is squared again? It's multiplying two of the same number, so 100 times 100. And when we're multiplying by 100 or a 10, we add the zeros. How many zeros do we have here? 4. So we do 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the area of a hectare is 10,000 square meters, which means that if we multiply 2.1 by 10,000, we would get 21,000 square meters per cabin. And just to put that into perspective, this is like 2.1, that's a kilometer. These are some big cabins. I will tell you that right now. These are some pretty hefty cabins. So here's the solution. Here's the division. Here is the multiplication. And now if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the video, and happy studying. Yeah, who would want to live in a 14.7 kilometer cabin? I have no. I mean, maybe I would. I don't know. Who knows? All right, moving on. Let's do equivalent ratios. Okay. Select two ratios that are equivalent to 418. Here we go. We got something that we may be familiar with. So, do we remember how to simplify ratios? If you do not, you can check out my previous video. But if we have two numbers that are even, we divide them by 2. So if we divide each of these by 2, what do we get? 2 over 9. So we know that, but maybe we don't want to get a simplified ratio. Maybe we want an unsimplified ratio. So to do so, we simply multiply by any number we want, which is kind of cool because there are no limits to this. There is no limits to this. 4 over 18. So, should we try multiplying by 2 first? That would seem like a reasonable way. What if we multiply each by 2? 8 over 36, because we multiply each by 2. And hey, what do you know? That's the answer to E. And since I want two ratios, that's going to be our answers, B and E. So here's the explanation. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the videos, and happy studying. A recipe? What could that recipe be? Maybe it's ours. Who knows? Okay, 8, 5. So it looks like that's already simplified. Right? I think we're looking for unsimplified ratios. So if we multiply each of these by 2, what will we get? 16 over 10. So, hey, what do you know? That's answer choice A here. So, and remember, this is equivalent to this. We can use a colon. We can use a division sign, a cross sign, 2 sign. Remember, ratios are they're kind of up there. They don't really have a lot of limits, you know? Okay, so if we have 1610, it looks like we're still going up. So, what could we do? We're going to have to put on our thinking caps for this one. Something I will say is that I don't think it's going to be E, because since we're multiplying by 10, I want an answer with a 0. So that's kind of a general fact. So it's not E. So we have B, C, and D. So hey, how about this? It says 3 ratios. If we can knock out one more answer here, we know the other ones are going to be right. So let's see here. What if we multiply this by 2 again? Maybe see if that works. What will we get? 32 over 20, which is this. So, okay, this one's right. So let's see if we can knock out maybe one more, or maybe we might as well just try to get the last one right. because then we'll know the other one will be wrong. Maybe if we go in reverse. What if we try 1610, and instead of multiplying it by 2 and then going on forward, we can also just take the original fraction and then multiply it by, well, 48. What is 48 over a? Because maybe we can get a number that will be equal to the numerator, and then we'll have to put a number in it for the denominator. So 8 times 6 is 48, correct? So we have to put times 6 no matter what, because remember, these must be the same. So what's 5 times 6? 30. And hey, that's our last fraction. So our answers are A, C, and D. Good job, everyone. So here's our numbers. And yes, we did use times 2, times 4, and times 6 here. So if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the videos, and happy studying. No, I don't think we actually used times 4. I think we just multiply it by 2 twice, which is totally okay. That's my way of interpreting it. Okay, select 3 ratios that are equivalent to 820, so 3. So let's do this. So we have 820. Could we simplify it a little bit? What if we divide these by 2 since they're both even? Will we get something? Yeah, we get 410. So that means B is one of our answers. These are still even, right? 4 and 10 are even. If we divide it by 2 again, what's our answer? 2 over 5. So that means that D is also our answer. And let's be honest. Will 1/4 be simplified in this problem? Nah. If we already know it's 2, 5, 1/4 will just not be possible. So B and D are right, and A is wrong. So now we just have to knock out 10 and 24. Let's see. 10 and 24 is a lot smaller than 2460. So maybe we can try to get 1024, and if that doesn't work, then the other answer must be what it is. So let's go to our most simplified question, 2/5, and then we want to get 1024. So from 2 to 10, we multiply by 5. So we must do times 5 here as well. Does 5 times 5 equal to 24? No, it doesn't. What does 5 times 5 equal? 25. So that means that E is wrong, and C must be correct because it says we want 3. If we wanted to check, then we can do 2 and 24, which is 12, and then 5 times 12 is 60. So that's how you get the answer. So if you got that right, good job. Here's the explanations, and here's the videos, and happy studying. Okay, select 3 ratios that are equivalent to 11:1. So 11:1 is just 11. So if we can find a division problem like these, you know what, actually, let's actually do this as fast as we can. If we know that x over x must be equal to 11, because check this out. If we have 1 over 1, these are all the same number, right? So they are equal to 11. So same thing here. 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2. It's 11. That's kind of a way I kind of interpret it. Same thing for even beyond. Maybe it's 2, 2, 2 over 2. It can be 11. Maybe it's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 over 2, right? So maybe this could be equal to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And it doesn't have to be 2. It can be 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. So we can apply this rule and see if it'll be equal to 11. So 1 over 11. Well, although this does follow the trick, that's the reciprocal, not actually equal. A is out. 2, 2 over 2, that was part of my explanation. 5, 5, 5, all of them are equal. 9, 9, 9. Well, 9's first, but that's if we got the reciprocal, like 9, 9, 9, like 9, 9, 9, then that would be right. And then 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. Well, although they're not the same, we have 1, 1, 0 over 1, 0. And if we have 2 zeros, we can cancel them out, which is just 1, 1, 1. So E is right as well. So that means our answers must be B, C, and E. Very, very great. We are doing amazing, my friends. I hope you are learning a lot from this video. So if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos. You can always ask me for help as well. And happy studying. Okay, let's do this. Only three more to go. Alright, equivalent ratio word problems. Ben the camel drinks tea. So classy. He drinks 1,050 liters of tea every 6 days. Ben drinks the same amount each day. How many liters of tea does Ben drink every 2 days? So we can take our number, and then this, and then we have, since this is liters in the top, then we need to know how many liters in 2 days. Now we can't cross multiply, but there's a lot faster way. 6 and 2. Can we do a division problem to get 2? Yeah, we can. What number will we use? 3, because 6 divided by 3 is 2. So we must do 150 over 3. What will this be equal? I'll give you guys a little bit of time since I know it can be a little hard. 350, I believe. So 350 liters of tea every 2 days. What if we're trying to find the liters of tea every day in general? We would do 350 over 2, and then divide that and get 175. So it's 175 liters of tea every 2 days. That's a lot of tea. Here's the step-by-step solution. Here's the multiplication. I don't know why they would multiply by 1/3. Multiplying by 1 over something is the same thing as dividing over that number. So let's just say we were doing if we were multiplying y times 1 over x, that's the same thing as y over x. These are equal. So I'm going to start this. These are equal. Y times 1 over x is equal to y over x. Because let's think about it. Y is equal to y over 1, and then times 1x. If we cross multiply these and do y times 1, we would get 1y, or just y, and then 1 times x is 1x, or just x. So that's why these are equal. So that's just a general rule of thumb. But it's fine. They can explain it however they want. But that's why I'm here, to give you the best tips to smash your math classes and teach those problems, who to mess with next time you come across them. So if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos, and happy studying. Okay, Sunny's garden has 9 tomato plants, 5 pepper plants, 3 squash plants, and 6 pumpkin plants. Complete the ratio. For every 3 tomato plants in Sunny's garden, there is 1 blank. So what do we know? We have 9 tomato plants, 5 pepper, 3 squash, and 6 pumpkins. We want to get 3 tomatoes. What do we divide to get 3? That's equal sides, by the way. It's just sideways. We get 3. Now, we need to get 1 of something. Let's divide all these by 3. Which one of these will give me 1? Will it be this one? Will it be this one? Or will it be this one? It'll be this one right here. Anything divided by something is 1. So it's 3 squash plants. So for every 3 tomato plants, there's 1 squash plant. That is our answer. So we divide 3 on both sides like we did, and then we did 3 over 3 is 1. So if you got that right, good job. Here's the answer explanation. And here are the videos, and happy studying. Okay, next problem. Mabel spends 4 hours to edit a 3-minute long video. She edits at a constant rate. How long does Mabel spend to edit a 15-minute long video? So constant means that they're going non-stop. There is no pauses. They are going 24/7, and they are going strong. So, let's see here. 4 hours. How do we convert to minutes? First of all, how many hours is in... Well, hours to minutes. So, how many minutes is 1 hour? So, is it... How many minutes is it? 60. 60 minutes are in an hour. If we are trying to find how much Mabel spends to get a 15-minute long video, we should convert hours to minutes. So 4 times 60, because remember, 60 is in an hour, so we want to convert to minutes using this formula. X is the amount of hours, and then times 60. So X is the number of hours. So I will go ahead and star this as well. So 4 times 60 is 240. Now, to get a 15-minute long video, we need to understand. Wait. Oh. I looked at it wrong. But that is the formula for converting hours to minutes. That is correct. But to edit a 3-minute long video, we need to understand how many hours it spends to get 15. So that means that we need to convert to 15. So 15 over 3 is equal to 5. You see what I did here? I am getting 5 because that means that that's going to be the amount of hours I'm multiplying by. So to edit a 15-minute long video, we get 4 times 5, which is equal to 20. Man, if she edited a 15-minute long video at a constant rate, I would definitely be tired after staying up constantly for 20 hours. You would have to definitely edit a 15-minute long video on a Saturday or a Sunday. Well, no, only on a Saturday, because, you got no school today and no school tomorrow. Well, I guess it also depends on what school people go to. Anyways, if you got that right, good job. Here's the answer explanation. Here are the videos. And happy studying. That's me. Okay, Lucia is making invisibility potions. Each potion requires the following ingredients: 2 eyes of newt, 5 carrots, 5 layers of rainwater. How many carrots will Lucia mix with 16 eyes of newt in the potions? Lucia has all the other ingredients she needs. So we have carrots to 16 eyes of newt. So we have 5 over... No. We have 2 over 5. We want to get 16 eyes of newt. So we won't need the amount of carrots. So do we have a number where 2 and something can get 16? We do. 2 times 8 is equal to 16. So we must do that for 5. So what will be our x? 40. 40 carrots for our answer. So we just multiply by 8 right here, as it says right here. So if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos, and happy studying. Very, very good. We only have 2 more, and then we're done. So let's keep going. No, we already did that. Okay. Evaluate ratios in the real world. Here we go. I'm about to prove to some of you guys that math is useful. Julia exercises at the gym. For every 3 minutes she spends running, she spends 5 minutes lifting weights. Which of the following could be how Julia spends time at the gym? So let's see here. We have running to lifting, as it says on all 5 choices. So running to lifting, and it looks like it already gives us that. So we need 3 over 5, and then we need 2 answers for this one. So maybe we can make an improper fraction. Could we multiply by 2? What will this be? 6 over 10. So running for 6 and lifting for 10. Well, we don't have that for our choices, but that is correct. Let's try something else. Maybe we can get 3 times 3 and 5 times 3? What will this give us? 9 over 15. But will that work? No, this isn't in our choices either. Let's try a different one. What about 3 times 4? Will this give me something? Let's see. Well, we have 12 over 20. No, this isn't an option either. Could we try 3 times 5 to get something? So we get 15 over 25. And hey, there we go. We have answer B, which explains my quotation. We have running for 15 minutes and lifting weights for 25. We only need one more answer left, so let's just keep going. Could 3 times 6 and 5 times 6 work? What will this be? 18 over 30. And, nope, this won't work either. And hey, since we already passed running for 10 and lifting for 12, we're not going to get that anymore, are we? It's not going to be A. So... it's not going to be A. Okay. 3 over 5, and then multiply by 7. Could we try that? Will this work? Well, let's see. We get 21 over 35. That's not enough choices either. What if we try times 8? Will this work? Well, we get 24, and then we get 40. So, well, we get 24 here, but it says 48. I know this will be wrong because it's supposed to be 40. And we already passed 20, so our answer should be 30. And that's because we will actually have to multiply by 10, which took a very long time. But we managed to prosper through and get the answer. So B and E are the correct answers in this problem. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos. And happy studying. And here's the explanation. Makoto likes to eat her trail mix piece by piece. For every 5 pieces of nuts she eats 2 pieces of candy. Which of the following could be what Makoto eats from a bag of trail mix? So we have 5 pieces of nuts and 2 pieces of candy. So let's just try our thing we used from the last problem. 5 times 2 and 2 times 2. What will this be? 10 and 4. So, and hey, what do you know? This is in my first choice. It's in choice A. So, A is right. We only need one more already. Okay, let's try another one. 5 and 2. Maybe we could try multiplying by 3. I can see we have a 15 here, and that's what 5 times 3 equals. Will it be the same for 2? You get 15 and 6. Is that right? No, it says 12 pieces of candy, but it should be 6. B is not correct. So, let's try another one. 25. I'm just going to skip here because I don't want to waste a lot of time. 25 and 5. What do we multiply to get 25? 5. So we must do that for 2 as well. Will we get that? Nope. We will get 10, not 20. So that means that that's wrong too. Okay, 40. What gets us 40 from 5? 8. So 2 times, what are we going to get? 40 over 16. And that means this is wrong as well. E is correct here. And this is because we take 5 and 2, multiply each by 9. So we get 45, which is shown here, and 18, which is shown here. So that means that A and E are the correct answers here. So if you got that right, great job. If you didn't, here are the videos. And otherwise, happy studying. Okay. For every 3 days of vacation, Farah packs 4 outfits. Which of the following statements are true? Farah would pick... Okay, you know... Okay. So we have... Ooh, it's opposite here. We have outfits to vacation. So we have 4 outfits for 3. So, let's pick our options here. Multiply by 2. What will this give me? 8 over 6. So, hey, what do you know? That's choice B. And since we already passed A won't be right. So, B is correct, and A is wrong. Choice C. Well, I don't have a number that will get me to 10, but I know that 3 will work for 9. Is 4 times 3 equal to 10? Nope, it's equal to 12. So C is out of the table too. And we need 3 answers. We already knocked out 2. D and E must be correct based on process of elimination. And this is because we have 16, which is 4 times 4, and 3 times 4, which are both equal to 16 and 12, respectively. And then we have 4 times... that's not to you, that's to me. I'm kind of competitive. To 7, and then 3 to 7. So that will equal to 28 and 21, respectively. So that's why those are correct. And process of elimination. But just because most tests are are short answer and not multiple choice, that is that for you. So here's the answer explanation. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos. You can always ask me, and happy studying. Okay, next problem. A pink crayon is made with 12 milliliters of red wax for every 5 milliliters of white wax. Which of the following wax mixtures will create the same shade of pink? So let's see here. We have red wax with white wax. So we have 12 red wax, and we have 5 white wax. Let's see here. Well, wait a minute. I can immediately notice something that is off with 2 answer choices. Can you spot it? So we have a 10 here, which is going down, and we have a 24, which is going up. In ratios, this is never possible. When it comes to numbers, they will each either grow up or down, meaning that they are direct proportions, and you'll learn more about that in Algebra 1. But otherwise, this is not possible. C does this as well. It looks like it goes up to 13, but 5 goes... Oh, 5 also goes up to 6. But I'll tell you right now, there's barely anything that will match up to that. 12 times 13 over 12 will equal to that, but then 5 times 13 over 12 would not work. So A and C are wrong. So if we can knock out one more answer, then we will have it already, which is awesome. So we have 48. We will multiply, let's say, 4. And then that means we'll multiply with this. So we get 48 here, which is given here. And then what's our next one? 20. But that's not equal to 12. So B's out too. D and E are the correct answers in this solution. And this is because we have 12 and 5, correct? So we have 12 times 3 is 36. And then 5 times 3, which is 15. And then we do another one. 12 times 5 and 5 times 5 equal to 60 and 25 respectively. So D and E are the best choices here. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the explanations and videos. And happy studying. Great job, everyone. We only need one more section and then we're good for the quiz. Understand equivalent ratios in the real world. Kermit's favorite iced tea uses 15 tea bags in every 2 liters of water. Peggy made a 12-liter batch of iced tea with 90 tea bags. Peggy and Kermit keep the bags in the water the same amount of time. What will Kermit think of Peggy's iced tea? Oh, wow, okay. This one's more of like common sense, but I guess we can use it. So notice what we have here. Kermit uses 15 bags. So uses like these bags for 2 liters of water. So this is Kermit, okay? Kermit has, let's just say he has like this much water. So, this is a moderate amount. This is like just right. Now, what about Peggy? So 90 tea bags. So like Peggy has like this much. And 12 liters is like this much. So, what do you think it is? Like, is it too strong, too weak, or just right? It's probably going to be too strong. I mean, for 90 tea bags, if we put that into a ratio and then simplify it, and then plug and chug all the numbers, it's going to be 45 bags for every 6 liters of water. So, maybe, although Kermit is, although Kermit has less water, Peggy has way too many bags. So I think it's going to be A here. Huh? To compare ratios? Oh, we're comparing ratios. That's my fault. Okay, that's fine. We'll do a bonus question after this. So, my bad. Okay. A pineapple for fruit punch calls for 3 liters of orange juice and 2 liters of pineapple juice. Joe begins a great drink by mixing 4 liters of orange juice with 3. So, we're basically just comparing which is which. So, so let's compare the recipe and Joe. So, a recipe calls for 3 liters of orange juice, so I'll put orange juice up here, and 2 for pineapple. I'll put pineapple juice. So we have 4 orange juice and then 3 of pineapple. So we're basically just cross-multiplying to see which one will be more. So this will be the recipe. I'll just put R for recipe, and then this will be J for Joe. Now it's cross-multiply, so 3 times 3 is 9, good, and then what's 2 times 4? 8. So it looks like the recipe will be slightly stronger. So that means that it's not Joe's drink. Oh, it's fruit punch. The fruit punch will have a stronger pineapple taste. Yeah, not so much. Wait, what? Oh, So let's see here. Oh, I understand. Yeah. So what this basically is telling us is we have 3 over 2 and then 4 over 3. So if we take the ratios and then we make it equal to each other, we can also check our work with kind of a longer solution, but I kind of do it sometimes. If we multiply this by 2 and then multiply this by 3, each denominator will be equal to 6. 3 times 3 is 9, and 4 times 2 is 8. So, oh, pineapple taste. Oh, I see. So we were looking at fruit taste. So this over this, and this over this. So okay. So Joe will have a stronger one. Okay, I understand. Okay. When Arjun makes strawberry milk, he adds 90 milliliters of milk for every 20 milliliters of strawberry syrup. Arjun's brother, Eli, adds 180 milliliters of milk for every 45 milliliters of strawberry syrup. Which strawberry milk has a stronger strawberry taste? So, Arjun. So, let's put A for Arjun. We want a strawberries taste. So, we want to compare strawberry syrup over milk. And then we want to compare Eli, which has 45 over 180. So, if we take this, which is like, if we take this number, which is 3,600, and then we take 90 and 45, which is, I'll give you guys a little bit, 90 times 45.
90 times 45.
And yes, you can call me weak in the comments because I used a calculator. But anyways, yeah, Eli will have a stronger strawberry taste. So yes, so whatever it's asking, just use that for the numerator. And I know I have terrible handwriting right there, but the numerator is just the top number of a fraction. So like if I compare like this ratio, this is the numerator. So I'll just put num. And then 2, this is the denominator, whatever's on the bottom. So anyways, yes. So that's our answer. Next question. Okay, Lishan makes scrambled eggs with 3 spoonfuls of salsa for every 2 eggs. Gilberta adds 7 spoonfuls of salsa for every 5 eggs. So, salsa taste. So, 3 spoonfuls of salsa for every 2 eggs, and then 7 for every 5. So, let's cross multiply. We have 3 and 5, which is 15. And 2 and 7, which is 14. So, we put Lishan and then Gilberta. So, it looks like Lishan is going to have more salsa taste. So, the answer is A. And here's our explanation, but we just cross multiply because that's the fastest way to do it. And then, happy studying. Okay, so we did unfortunately do that a little wrong, but that was kind of my fault. I'm really sorry. But anyways, I hope you learned something. So now let's go ahead and take quiz 2, and then that will be the end of this episode. And then on the next episode, we'll do sections 3 and 4. So, good luck on the quiz, and your quiz starts now. Good luck. And remember to pause, because I'm going to go fast. Answer is 45. Good job. The answer is B. C. And oh my gosh. And E. Good job. The answer is A. Good job. The answer is 21 and 7. We got that. Oh, no, not 7. 10. That's my fault. You got that right. Good job. The answer is B. D. Oh, B and D. Okay. If you got that right, good job. Okay, so that is the end of this episode for section 2. So, if you enjoyed this episode, I hope you did. I'm sorry if I confused you a little bit with the understand equivalent ratios. I just thought it was common sense, but anyways, yeah, so good job, everyone. You all are doing amazing. I am so proud of you. Your pre-algebra is coming along together very well. So next episode, we will be doing these 2 units and these 2 quizzes, and then we'll finish off with the unit test. So, I'm Landon Pitts, and I will see you all next time.